is CNN Breaking News.
It's been a little more than 1 year since President Trump's historic win, so we wanted to check in with some of his supporters to see how they feel about him today. I sat down with voters from Florida, Pennsylvania, Indiana, New York, Connecticut, and Louisiana for our latest Pulse of the People. We're basically 1 year into the Trump presidency, so how would each of you grade the president today? So 1, 2, 3. Okay, B, B, A, A, F, B. So Sherry, let me start with you. An F. Why?
I did vote for him. I almost immediately regretted it. He has no credibility for me as a voter.
What turned you?
There's been a long laundry list of reversals, campaign reversals and post-campaign reversals.
Such as?
He said China is a currency manipulator. Now he says he's not. China is not a currency manipulator. That's just one recent example.
Okay, so who are the A's? Kim, tell me a year in what you like so much about what you've seen.
See, I think he's going after what he said he would do. I think he's meeting with a lot of resistance. But I also do like the fact that the stock market has hit something like 27 historic highs. It keeps going higher and higher and higher and higher. Unemployment is down, the furthest down it's been in about 16 years. I think jobs are coming in, and these are all things that he talked about. I think right away he also tried to secure the borders.
How? I mean, the wall didn't happen.
Well, the wall is, they have the prototypes up.
Mark, you're nodding.
I love that he's America first. I love that he's not a politician. For so long, we've had politicians promising us stuff. The swamp is horrible. And Trump is there. He's there for the small guy. He's there for people like myself.
Though his cabinet is filled with multimillionaires.
I love that. They're not politicians.
And you don't see them as part of the swamp who have capitalized on the system.
In a capitalist system, you're allowed to make money. Being rich is good.
Yeah, so then what is the swamp?
The swamp for me
the mainstream
is yes, you almost nailed it. It's the mainstream. It's the elites that look down on a small guy like myself.
I think the swamp is also no doubt Congress, Senate, to be able to clean that up somehow.
But this is what confuses me. How do you get rid of the House and the Senate?
You don't. You make it more accountable and more accountable to the people.
I own a pest control company. It's not much, but it's mine. And I work hard for it. I never went to college. Just your typical guy who's trying to make a living. And for years, they've been just kicking us to the side. And here comes the president. Let me tell you, if Jesus Christ gets down off the cross and told me Trump is with Russia, I would tell him, hold on a second, I need to check with the president if it's true.
Why do you believe Donald Trump over everybody else? Why?
I believe in him. He's a good man. He has taken so much shots for us.
Why do you think he's more trustworthy than
It's based on everything he's been doing. He's been winning. Listen, I go to Mar-a-Lago whenever he's coming in, hold up my sign.
And what does your sign say?
Blacks for Trump. I'm Jamaican, I'm black. I love the guy.
If this is winning, no thank you. I mean, come on. On the job market, that's retroactive. It's too early for him to claim credit for those numbers.
For the unemployment rate.
Yes. I mean, also the stock market is volatile. I mean, he has not passed a single major legislative piece of anything.
I think it's interesting, though, that we're going to blame Trump for the bad things that we think have happened, but we aren't going to give him any credit for the good. His appointment with Neil Gorsuch, he may get to appoint others. I mean, that's huge, and the defunding of Planned Parenthood and the steps in that right direction.
Anthony, what is it like for you to hear the two different sides of how people are feeling today?
My disappointment is that when he hit the ground, he didn't have a game plan. It just seems like he's firing in many different directions. I honestly believe that draining the swamp should have been the primary. He's got 535 congressmen that have anywhere between 15 and 30 lobbyists that are funneling money to them and trying to manipulate them. He has an incredible battlefield in front of him.
The whole election and post-election experience has caused me to re-examine. It's been a painful process. I can no longer identify with the Republican Party.
Why?
They seem out of touch with mainstream America. They don't seem that interested in working to bridge the divisions between us, which is a major concern that I have. Healthcare is another one, and I know of many, many people who are not able to get treatment they need. Maybe it's time we stop viewing healthcare as a commodity in this country.
Did you think the president could make a better deal with the insurance company? Did you expect something from Donald Trump?
I guess I expected the insurance company to be way on the back burner and the American people to be on the front burner. And
Single payer.
And he's
That's the right way to go.
You like the idea of single payer?
Absolutely. Every other country that's civilized and educated has made the choice to turn it into just like your highways, your bridges, and all of your other necessities.
Now, that's not what Donald Trump is saying.
No.
I mean, he's not going towards a single payer.
But that's the only way you're going to eliminate the additional expense that comes with insurance companies.
Why didn't you vote for Bernie Sanders?
I would have considered it if I'd had the choice. But we already know the game was rigged. And that was one of the things that I liked about Trump. He was always talking about the system is rigged.
This is CNN Breaking News.
I do want to get all of your takes on what some call flip-flop, some call a 180-degree turn. Listen to this.
I said, here's the problem with NATO. It's obsolete. I said it was obsolete. It's no longer obsolete.
We're going to have a great relationship with Putin and Russia.
Right now, we're not getting along with Russia at all. We may be at an all-time low in terms of relationship with Russia.
How do you feel
about that? Look at the dates there. The dates are a year apart. The dates reflect a time when he was not the president, when he was not privy to some of the materials he'd be provided as the president, some of the highly confidential secret materials.
Sure, but I mean, does he need a confidential secret material to know that NATO is relevant?
Well, he had a change of opinion. He changed his mind.
And you're comfortable with that?
I am comfortable with that because I feel that we're all entitled to change with circumstances, with timing.
It's foolish to hold on to a particular view and then be shown evidence for something else.
But you're comfortable that he now believes in working with NATO, that he now believes in getting involved, if need be, in Syria, that he now no longer believes that China is a currency manipulator. You're comfortable with his changes of position?
I'm satisfied with them. I believe that that everything's fluid, and you can't make an informed decision if you don't have the proper information.
Did you feel that he was not informed during the campaign?
I think he was as informed as they could get. They could make him. Yeah.
He wasn't the president.
Go ahead, Scott.
That's not true. That's not true. He goes behind closed doors, just like the President Obama did of the United States. He gets firsthand information like everybody else does. As the president,
As the president,
not as a candidate.
That's a bunch of crap, and you all know it. It's a bunch of crap. Doors. Let me calm down here. He goes behind closed doors. He got secure information on this country, just like Mrs. Clinton did.
Before he was elected.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And why would they hide information like that to somebody that's going to become the next possible president of the United States? That's ridiculous. Come on. I know you just all of you on this panel.
Secretary of State, so she was
Be kidding me.
No, Paula. They got classified briefings. He did. Once they were the nominees, they got classified briefings. You're comfortable, Alex. Hold on. Alex, you're comfortable with his shifts in position.
Except for the Chinese currency.
Why not?
Thing.
Why are you comfortable with that one?
Because China is a currency manipulator.
So why is he saying now, no, they're not?
Because, unfortunately, he needs China.
Exactly.
That's
but
exactly
you know what?
right.
But you see, but here again, that sometimes you have to negotiate.
Negotiate and make
He's going to give him a
need
deal.
China right now.
He's going to give him a deal because he went in the country and bombed the place and he needs help now.
You know what?
Listen, he started the war. He should go in there and finish the goddamn
You know
thing.
what? You know,
He didn't start the war.
Let's be honest here. You know what?
Did any other country bomb Syria except for the United States?
Come on. Yeah, no, that was
Let's take a look
Obama.
at Syria.
Yeah,
what happened in Syria was disgusting. It was sad. And he went in there and
dealt with it.
So why did he say before that, during
Because
the
it didn't
campaign,
happen.
that we didn't? Wait,
But
there have been
But
attacks
there
on
has been.
civilians
I get
for
it.
years.
I get it.
So
But
why was he hands off then?
But what did Obama do in all this? Obama had that red line.
Obama was not the president of the United States, and Obama didn't bomb the country.
Back in history, but why
Trump
are you
did.
comfortable with Mr. Trump's shifting positions?
Because at this point in time,
I'll
he
tell you
had a
what.
situation where he had to deal with. And did we want to take the chance of the next day taking these people, these poor innocent people, and gassing them again?
So, Craig, how are you feeling about all of this? I mean, I know that you've been listening intently to your fellow panelists.
And I'm going to say, you know, Donald Trump, President Trump, we all gave him a pass because he wasn't a politician. But he's starting to fit the bill. But he's also human. And I have to agree with some of these other panelists that we just can't sit back and let a leader of a country annihilate their population.
Are you comfortable with where the administration is today on North Korea?
I'm not.
Go ahead. What are you doing?
I'm not, plain and simple, because you know what? If these panelists believe, some of the panelists believe, that he gets the wrong information and goes into North Korea and does something stupid, it could be detrimental to this country. It really could.
Are you comfortable with the tough talk against North Korea?
You know what? I'll take any tough talk from President Trump if he's going to back it up. But he's not backing it up.
What can we do, though? We've got a leader of a country that has been flaunting the fact that he has these missiles and he sends them out. Do we have to wait until one of them is nuclear tipped and takes out one of our allies?
Absolutely not.
Do we
I'm
have
not
to wait
saying-
for that? Then I have to agree that, you know, we as a country need to say, you know, we're not going to turn our head anymore. You know, this is something that I'm very passionate about.
You think tough talk will take care of that?
Look, I don't know about the tough talk. Okay.
So what do you think?
But first you have to talk and try to come to a resolution. And I mean, the guy's a maniac. He's insane. But
I know you're talking about Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Not Trump.
I hope so.
I'm glad you clarified that. But if you don't sit down and talk and you start with the weapons, then there's no chance to try to get a resolution here and try to make peace.
Transparency. President Trump is not going to ever release his taxes, he says now. Do you care?
No.
Why don't you want to see what's in there?
I couldn't care less. He was a private citizen before he came in. You know whose taxes I really like to see? We should write legislation that I get to see everybody in Congress's taxes. That I want to see every year when they file their taxes, they have to post it on their website.
Why do you want to see Congress's taxes and not the president's?
Because I want to see all the money that they take on the side. I want to see all their speeching engagement. I want to see exactly how much they pay in taxes.
Sure.
But you know what? It's not trans. But how many of them really file taxes? I want to know how many don't file theirs. I want to know what they pay in Washington. I want to know how rich they are.
I'm just confused. Why don't you care about whether or not President Trump's making any money on the side while he's the president?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm more concerned with Congress because Congress has been down in Washington and made this mess of this country. And to me, I'd rather let's start with them, and then every year he has to do it now because he's president.
Right. But
It's
he
a
has to
double
do it
standard.
publicly. We all have to file our taxes every year.
But he's going to be under audit every year.
I just have a question for you. Is it possible that there's nothing President Trump could ever do that would make you question him?
There is, because they fall exactly in the realm of all these other people that they've talked to across the United States, and that is he can do no wrong.
At this point, no.
Did you make excuses for him when he made fun of the handicapped reporter?
That was not true.
That was not
He
true.
did not make fun of
And you
him.
know,
He didn't?
I videotape.
I saw the tape. I don't know what you saw. What did you?
I want to stand on this, okay? No, okay.
What did you see that I didn't?
You folks watching, and you
Okay,
count.
whoa. Everyone calm down, please. Okay, this is what happened. If you watch Trump and you watch all of his speeches, I've watched most of his speeches from when he started his campaign to after he won the presidency, okay? He uses hand gestures all the time. And when he was, No. When he was talking about the gentleman, yes, he is handicapped, and I'm sorry for him, I'll pray for him. But when he was talking about him, he was using hand gestures, yes, but he's done the same hand motion with many other non-handicapped
I've never seen him use those.
You know what?
That he was using when he was talking about Serge Kovaleski, I've never seen him.
Yes, he has. Many times. I've seen the videos comparing.
What about his
him
proposed Muslim ban during his campaign? What did you think about that? Did you back him on that?
The Muslim ban?
Yeah, the Muslim ban. Did you go to his rallies? I went to 45.
I did go to his
Everyone.
rallies.
We're going to have a Muslim ban. They all jump up and cheer.
Allison.
And did you like that?
No, I couldn't support that. I never supported that. I never supported a deportation. I said, you know, a wall would probably help out with the infiltration of heroin.
Then why did you go to 45 of his rallies if there were some things that just turned your stomach?
I'll tell you why. Because
Why'd you vote for him?
I took the emotion of losing my son. And when Donald Trump told me that he was going to do whatever he could do to help the people that were found themselves involved with heroin and substance abuse, I took that to heart. And I transformed my emotion that I had for my son into following this man around the countryside. And I listened to him talk, and I supported him because of his promise that he was going to help these kids and these young adults get off this heroin.
You haven't seen that today.
He's failed.
As we approach the 100-day mark, what does Make America Great Again mean to you today? Paula.
It means that he is moving forward on helping with the economy. I think that we have to give this man a chance. Nobody has given him a chance from the day he became the nominee to the day he got sworn in. All the media has dumped on him and has not said, okay, he has to have this time to be able to get acclimated down there because he was not a politician, and that we have to give him a chance and just back off a little bit.
So you're optimistic.
I'm very optimistic.
Okay, what do you feel, Susan?
I think that the president is going to continue down the path that he's already on. I think he is draining the swamp to some degree.
You know, a lot of people say that President Trump has put in his cabinet and in the White House lots of lobbyists and consultants, and that's not what people had in mind for draining the swamp.
That's correct.
I mean, that, you know, sometimes when you get
Absolutely
there,
correct.
it changes. But Alex, I want to move on to you. President Trump promised that there would be so much winning when he becomes president. Are you sick of winning yet?
No, I'm not. We have a lot more to look forward to, I think. Hopefully he'll get reelected. We'll win the, in 2018 Congress again.
Eileen, what does the future look like to you?
I'm willing to give him more time. There is a learning curve that is involved with learning how to deal with the government. So I feel encouraged that things will continue to improve.
Scott.
You know, Allison, basically, I hope his next 100 days is better than his first 100. You know, it can only get better, I hope, not worse, truthfully. I'm still, whether this panel thinks I hate Mr. Trump or not, I really don't. Again, I agree with this gentleman here. I want him to succeed. I really do. I think he can, but I don't think he can just go to the table and say it's my way or the highway. He's got to negotiate. If he doesn't, it's going to get worse in the next 4 years. It truly is. And he's going to lose a lot of people the next election. I guarantee it. There'll be a lot of people turn against him.
Craig, how do you see the future?
Well, you know, they say give him 4 years, but unfortunately he's shown what he's capable of doing in the first 100 days. Make America Great Again has become a myth. I don't wish for the president to fail in his endeavors. You know, if he wins, we all win. I could never vote for him again because he's shown what he's capable of doing. That is trying to put through something that was absolutely the opposite of what he said, what he promised American people.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Show of hands, how many of you are feeling just as positively today about Donald Trump as you were on Election Day? 2 of you. How many of you are having some second thoughts or reservations or regret your vote? 3 of you. Okay, so Jordan, what was the moment that you started regretting your vote?
A lot of it had to do with his choices for cabinet officials. I'm a high school teacher. His choice for the Secretary of Education is completely unacceptable to me and most of my colleagues.
Why? What's the problem with Betsy DeVos?
Inexperienced. She now is in charge of public education. She doesn't seem to believe in it. And that was a very big detriment to me.
Peyton, what was the moment that you started having second thoughts?
He's a businessman. I thought he could get the deals done. And once I started seeing that he was too busy tweeting or not really understanding the kind of way Congress and politics really works, I was a little disappointed.
What did you think he could pull off?
I was hoping for his travel ban to kind of go through and not be so divisive. I was hoping for a health care repeal and replace.
Mark, how about you?
I think it was the day after Inauguration Day.
So soon? What happened?
When he was so concerned about the crowds or lack thereof, I was like, is that important? You're the president. Let's move forward. And so that's probably started my what have I done?
When he was so upset about his crowd size, what did that tell you? Why did that upset you?
Well, it went back to his hands. I mean, size matters to him, I guess. And that's not important to me, and that's not why I voted for him. That's not why I voted for him. I felt he was different, thought he could make a change than what we've been used to over all these years, but just not impressed.
Emma Paula, what is it like for you when you hear your fellow panelists say that they now have all these deaths?
I can understand perfectly where they are from, but I am an issue, almost a one-issue person.
Your family came from Nicaragua, yes?
Yes, I'm from Nicaragua.
You're from Nicaragua.
I was.
You came legally, and now you're American, naturalized citizen.
Yes.
So I know you take issue with the Dreamers.
I take issue with the favoritism that they receive, and when they come and they expect and demand free college education. Boy, would I like to have had that. And this is why we are resentful. The community of legal immigrants from Latin America are the ones that voted for Donald Trump because of that resentment.
Let's talk about the NFL. How many of you are comfortable with the president weighing in on what's happening during the national anthem and some players taking a knee? Are you happy that the president talked about it this weekend or tweeted about it? Nobody's happy that the president weighed in.
I think that these players have the First Amendment right to kneel during the national anthem or sit out. And it's just an argument that really didn't need to be picked. And now it's what everybody's talking about when there are so many other things that we could be talking about, like the hurricane in Puerto Rico.
So why is President Trump weighing in on this?
I think it's because he loves America. I don't like the disrespect that these players are showing. But on the other hand, as my husband and I both say, we may not like it, but my husband served 21 years. My brother-in-law died in service to guarantee both the NFL players' rights to free speech and the president's right of free speech.
I'm a son of and a grandson of veterans, and I was always taught that I might not like what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. And that's what the First Amendment's about, and that's what this country's about. Do I like them taking a knee during the national anthem? Personally, no. But that's their choice, and it's their way to protest.
What I had concerned about was why in the world, and I live a couple hours from Charlottesville, Virginia, he couldn't call those individuals, the neo-Nazis, the white supremacists, why couldn't he call them sons of a bitches?
And why couldn't he?
That's a huge concern of mine, meaning what is really going on in that man's mind?
A lot of what happened yesterday was in response to what our president said, being very unpresidential, using the term son of a bitch. I believe that if we want to continue to be the country we are, we have to allow dissenting opinion. But I agree with Mark also. If you're going to use that term, let's use that term in Charlottesville as well.
And Peyton, what do you think about that? Why is he using harsher words for the NFL players?
I wish I knew. It just completely baffles me. When he made the first condemnation of white supremacists in Charlottesville, it kind of seemed like it was lacking any substance. He didn't call anybody out. Then he made the second one, which sounded presidential, but it was 2 days late. And then the next day he comes back out and kind of retracts what he said the day before and went with his original stance. And it's just so unnerving to have those flip-flops within days of each other.
There are people in the country who think that that's racist. That's racism right there. Not calling out white supremacists and calling out the NFL, 70% of whom are black.
I agree, but we use the race card far too often.
Do you wish that the president had spoken out more forcefully about Charlottesville?
I think he could have given a much stronger statement. He could have been very condemnatory. These people are not the people who make up America.
Why didn't that cause you any erosion in your support?
Because I try and look at the big picture. I also believe, as a businessman, he's not used to politics, and he's used to going in and making deals and having his own way.
And, we're talking about a businessman. Is he? That's what I'm trying to... He's not making any deals, so he's pissing people off that he needs votes for and that sort of thing. So, I voted for him because he was different, because he wasn't a politician, but I didn't vote for somebody that I have great concern about his thinking.